In this video, we're going to go over how to maintain your website. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your website. Right now we're working off my development server, but when the site goes live, the URL should change. So my development server is dev.tracyvargagroup.com, but once the website goes live, you'll be making changes on the production server, and that'll just be tracyvargagroup.com. So just know that my URL will be a little bit different from yours. So once you have the website up on the screen, I typically like to have two tabs open. One with the website, and then I like to open up another tab that I would navigate to the website, tracyvargagroup.com, and then /wp-admin. And that's /WP and then -admin. That will get you to the login screen so that you could log in into the backends of your site and be able to make all the different updates that we're going to go over during this video. So I'm going to pause the video for a second so that I can log in. Just give me 1 second. So for security purposes, I did not want to show what the username and password would be. But your credentials will be different, and you should have an email with your credentials already. So once you're logged in and you're logged in successfully, you should see a screen similar to this. This is actually called the WordPress dashboard, and this will contain all the different components that will allow you to make changes to your website. Everything is on the left-hand side. These are all the different options that you have. So we're not going to go over all of them, and not all of them will apply to you, but we will go over some of the more common features that you would make to your website. So the first thing I want to go over is pages. Pages is all the different pages to your site. This is where you would go and edit the different pages. So for example, let's just take one as an example where we would want to edit. So let's say we wanted to edit the individual style session page, which is under the services. So you can either go down the list and see which one, and hover over it and click on edit. Don't forget that on the right hand side there could be more pages that meets the eye. So don't forget that you could go to second page in terms of the results here to see if there's more. You can always search for it. If you can't find it, you can try searching. So let's type in style. I think the page called individual styles or something like that, or something similar. Looks like that didn't help too much, but it did narrow down the results just a little bit. So individual style session. So this is it. So I'm going to hover over it, and then I'm going to click on edit. Now, once I click on edit, you should see, a page that allows you to edit the page, and it looks pretty similar to the main content of your page. So let's go over just a couple things. If you want to change the title of the page, you'll just edit it up here. This is the actual content to your page, which will be right here. Now, in terms of the content, there's a couple of things that you can do. It's just like Word, so you can type in as you go. Anything that you want to bold, you can just highlight the word. You can bold it. You can italicize it. Let's say I want this here to be a different color. You'll just click on here, and you can select the different colors. Now, your site does have specific colors that I have outlined so that you don't have to look up the colors, but you'll automatically know what the you could just select from the back end what those specific colors are, the specific color palette, and that's the orange, the green, and the pink. So these are prominent throughout the site. And what I've done is basically, let's say I wanted this to be the special pink color. If you go over text color, and you can hover over each of these icons, and it'll tell you what the icons represent. If you hover over the one with the A, and there's two A's, so just be careful. One of them is the background color, but the other one's the text color. So if you click on the arrow that's pointing down, you'll see all the different colors, but on the last line, you'll see three colors, and I call them, the orange ones I call Tracy's orange, Tracy's green, and Tracy's pink. and these are the specific Tracy shaded colors that are prominent on different areas of the site. So if you want anything to be those shades of colors, orange, green, and pink, just know it's one of these three at the bottom of the color palette. So let's say now I want to make this section here to be pink. So now it's pink. You can also make it a hyperlink as well. To make something a hyperlink, you'll highlight the entire word or sentence, and then you'll click on this little chain link here, and it'll ask you for the hyperlink. If it's an external website, you can just go ahead and type in the external website. So for example, http:// and let's just say www.google.com, just as an example. Or you could just link it to another area of your page, and you can just kind of scroll down here to try to find it, or you can search for it. So let's say I wanted this to link to the contact page, so I'll just type in contact in the search, and that narrows it down, so it'll be the contact us page. I can click on that, click on add link, and then if I wanted to make these changes, I'll click on the update button. Else I could just navigate to another page, leave the page, and it won't make the changes. But let's just go back, and if I click on edit, and I'm editing the same page now because I didn't save it by clicking on the blue button on the right hand side. Let's just bring that up. This blue button here, because I didn't click on that before when I made the page change, when I went to another page last time, it didn't make the actual changes that I made to this page. So if you're happy with your changes, click on the blue button. The next thing I want to go over is if I scroll down a little bit, you'll see something called breadcrumbs. And what breadcrumbs are, and it only shows up on certain pages based on the design. If you go to mix and matches is where I believe they are, and I go to outfit 911, you see that it has these little, like a sub menu. This is actually called a breadcrumbs. It kind of just tells you where you are in the navigation. They only show up for the mix and match sub pages. But if you wanted to add those for the other areas, like for style sessions, and then for level 1 refresh, and you want it to show up here, what we could do is go type in services, and then level 1 refresh. And I think the style was the second part was going to be bold. And I'm happy with changes, so I'm going to click on update. And then let's refresh the page to see what it looks like. Doesn't look like the changes made is present. I think I know what it is. I think I edited the wrong page. If I went to individual style and section, and I refresh, yeah, there's service level 1 refresh. So that's incorrect. So if you want to do it the correct way, let's go ahead and delete this. We'll make the update. We'll refresh this. It should go away. Now let's go to level 1 refresh, because that's part of the style sessions, the subpage of style sessions. Let's go to all pages, and then we'll go to the style lesson level 1. Put in the breadcrumbs there. Make the update. And then once we refresh, there you go, services, and then style level 1 refresh. So under style session, nothing there, but then if we click on level 1 refresh, now we have our breadcrumbs. I'm going to go ahead and delete that just because that wasn't in the original design. But that's what breadcrumbs are if you wanted to know. And that, again, only applies to mix and match section for these sub pages, which is this part right here. Another part I wanted to go over is, so let's actually go to Smart Shopping. Go to All Pages, and then go to Smart Shopping. And you're wondering, how do I change this image, or where is this image located? Well, it's located on the actual page. So if I go to the Smart Shopping page, which is this part right here, you'll see on the right hand side there's something called featured image. And what featured image is basically the image on the right hand side of the page. If you wanted to replace this image, the first thing you want to do is click on the image that you have just to find out what the dimensions are. So the dimensions that you see is 570 by 400. So that's 570 width by 400 height. The image type is a JPG, so that's a JPEG. So ideally, if you were going to replace this image on this page, you wanted to make sure it matches the dimensions of the existing image. That way, you're basically doing a swap out. So if you do have that image of the exact same size and height and image type, what you want to do is click on the image again. You go to Upload Files, and you'll essentially take that image from your desktop and drag it into this window, and that will upload the image to the website. And then you'll say Set Featured Image, and then you'll click on Update to make the change. Now, this might not apply unless you want to create new pages, and I don't think you're going to create new pages, but if you do, by clicking on Add New Pages, just know that there's two types of page templates. There's the short page template where the image on the right is going to be wider than the content to the left. And how you tell WordPress that that's the type of page that you want is going to be shown under Template, and then you're going to select Short Column Pages, or Short Column Page. Else it's going to do the default, and let me try to find one that's the default. So the default is basically the left-handed side, the content, it's going to be wider than the right-handed side image. And if I go to individual style session, you'll see that the page template is just the default. So the ones where the right-hand side image is wider, I think only shows up on a few pages. So this is the default page template. Default page template. Here's the short column page. That's the template. Template styles. This one's a specialized template that you can't edit because it's such a unique template. You could edit this content here and change this image, but it's its own thing where it's not a short page template, nor is it a default template. This is the default. This is the default. And that's a specialized page. So that's essentially it in terms of pages. Now, there are special components of your site that I wanted to go over, and that's specifically these boxes here, as well as under FAQ, the special text box here. Those are going to be under content areas. They're special areas of content, and you have a few. So for FAQ, for the testimonial FAQ like this one, that is this one right here, FAQ testimonials. And here is where you would be able to edit the testimonials. Automatically on the site, it's going to be smart enough to make it a gray background, and the text is going to be white. By default, the text here is going to be white. So if that text is white, what you want to do is you want to just highlight the entire word and just make it black, and that'll force it to be black because everything's going to be forced to be white on the website. For the homepage. For the homepage box, let's say we want to change that. Instead of saying Style Services, let's click on Edit, Style Services, and you just want to, call it the Style Services page. Click on Update. That should change. That should change here, and that's the Style Service page. Let's go ahead and just not do that. Now, unfortunately, you won't be able to change the hyperlink. That's going to require some programming. but I doubt that you're going to change this pretty often. This is probably like once in a lifetime type of thing, but you're able to change the words if you wanted to. So that's how you change special content areas, like for example the stuff here as well as the side box here. Let me just review what other kind of content areas they are. Style sessions, FAQs, these are the box. So yeah, that's probably it for the content areas. Alright, so now what I want to go over is the blog. So this website does have a blog, and to add a new blog, what you would do is you would go to posts, because really what it is that a blog has posts. Each of these articles is called a post. So you want to go to posts, and you can click on add new posts, click on add new, the blue button at the top here. Well, it's gray unless you hover over it, and then it's blue, so we can click on add new, and I'm going to create a new blog post. So I'm going to call this one my new post, and I'm just going to go ahead and grab some dummy text. And this will be a 3-paragraph dummy text. The next thing I want to do is each blog post needs to have one image, and the image will automatically be sized to show up on the left hand side on this page, on the table of contents page. But also when you click on read more, it will also show at the bottom of the actual after the post itself. So I'll grab an image. Let me just make sure I have an image ready to be utilized. Okay, and you want to click on featured image. So I'm going to go and set featured image. I'm going to grab my image that I have on my desktop, and I'm going to drag it into this window. And then it's going to upload. And then I'm going to click on set featured image. I'm going to do a couple things. I'll make the first few words bold. I'll make the last few words a hyperlink, just to show a couple things. I'll make it go to Yahoo. I'm going to select the checkbox so that when somebody clicks on the hyperlink, it's going to open up a new window. And I'll just leave it alone as that for now. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to click on publish. Once I click on publish, automatically all new posts will show up at the top. So it's going to be the latest at the top. So as you can see, my new post, that's the title of the post. This is part right here. Then you have your actual post, and then you have your image, which is the featured image. So if I click on read more, here's our post. We have the first few lines, first few words bold. The last few words are a hyperlink. If I click on that, opens up a new tab, goes to Yahoo. And then we have our image. It'll automatically be responsive, automatically shrinks when it needs to be. And people can automatically tweet it, Facebook, put it on. They can actually pin it to their boards. The WordPress is actually smart enough to know that if I pin this, it'll actually grab the correct image, which is the main image of the article. And the next thing I want to actually go over is, once you write articles, you are going to possibly get comments and feedback from your audience regarding the article. So the next thing I want to do is I want to actually open up a new window. And this one's going to be a private window to simulate a fan trying to create a comment to an article. So they're going to go to blog, and they're going to read the the article, and let's say they wanted to make a comment. So their name is John Doe. Their email, let's say it's just John Doe at test.com. They don't have a website, they'll leave it blank. This is to prevent bots. They'll just retype the code, and then they'll comment is great article. I enjoy reading it. And they'll post a comment. And now they'll see that the comment actually shows up. But it'll say your comment is awaiting moderation. So if I open up another private window, and this is going to simulate somebody else. Let's say it's Sally. So Sally goes to your website, and Sally goes to blog and looks at the same post. Let me try to open up in another browser, because I don't think the private is working. So let me just close that. Let me open up another browser. This one's going to be in Internet Explorer. So it's going to be a totally different session. So Sally, when Sally goes to the website, Sally's not going to see the John's comment. The reason why is because John's comment isn't going to show up until you or somebody who has access to the backend as an administrator approves that comment. And that's going to prevent comments that are a little rude, or comments that aren't necessary, or spam, if they bypass the spam here. And basically allows you to make sure that whatever shows up on your website has been approved to be shown. So I'm going to move John's window aside, and because I'm an administrator and I have access to the dashboard, now I'll see that there's a comment. There's actually one comment pending. I'm going to click on comment, and then I'll see, oh, here's John Doe's comment. He mentioned great article. I enjoy reading it. So you have a couple options. You could approve it. You can also reply to it. In this case, I'm going to actually reply to it. So I'll say, thanks for your comment, John. And I'll just keep it. I'll just keep that there, and then I can approve and reply. So it'll approve and post a response. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now, if I go to John's window, and I refresh, and John refresh, he sees that, oh, now the comment is live, because it doesn't say pending moderating, or pending approval. And they also see, and he also sees that, oh, there's a response, and he can choose to respond to me if he wanted to. As for Sally, if Sally refresh, Sally could now see the changes. And let's say just for the sake of testing, Sally responds to John, and this is Sally. And I'll put down Sally's email address. I'll just do sally@test.com. E28K as the test. And I'll just I'll just write down like, hi, John. Do you know me? This is Sally talking to John. And I will post a comment. Now, for Sally, Sally will see your comment is awaiting moderation. Now, John is not going to see that, because Sally's comment needs to be moderated, or needs to be approved first. So if I refresh John's window, he's not going to see that. So let's go to my dashboard. As an administrator, I will now see, oh, okay, Sally made a comment, so I can approve. And this time, I'm not going to make a comment to Sally. So I'm just going to go ahead and approve it. And now if I go to, let's go to Sally's first. If I go to Sally's browser, right now it says, your comment is awaiting moderation, meaning it's not live. It is live now because I just approved it. So if Sally refreshes, that notice is gone. And now if I go to John's and he refreshes, he now sees Sally's response. And if he wanted to, he can just reply to Sally as well, and that'll indent, create another indentation. So that's basically the how do you basically manage the comments. So again, the comments don't go live. They're all going to be pending a moderator's approval before going live and before before seen on the website. So anybody who has administrator access, as well as I think not contributor, but editor access, will be able to approve comments. Now, if you get comments that don't fall in line with what you want and don't want to show it to the site, you can always report as spam if it's just spam, or unapprove it if you already approved it, or just put it to the trash if you haven't approved it yet. So those are your options for comments. The next thing I want to go over is your shop items. So you have a special customized feature on your site where you can add shop items to your website. So if I go to shop here, you have a special area on your website that allows people to shop on your website, and then when they click to it, it'll automatically go to PayPal and passes the type of item and what the cost of the item is, and then they can pay via PayPal. If they have an account, they'll just log in and pay for it. Else, they can pay with a credit card or a debit card, and that will automatically go into your funds, and then you can sweep the PayPal account and transfer it to your bank account, or have them write you a check, whatever options you want. Any questions regarding PayPal, I recommend reading the PayPal documentation at paypal.com, or contact their customer support. But in terms of your website, in terms of setting up and adding, editing, and deleting your shop items, on the right hand side you do have a menu option called shop items, and right now it shows up all your shop items. Now you can go ahead and edit your existing shop items by hovering over it and clicking edit, or you can click on trash, and that will just delete the items right out of your page. So let's go ahead and edit the outfit 911. So the shop item is really easy. Everything's all programmed in the back end, and you only need to fill in 3 items. The shop's, what it's called, the shop item name, which is going to show up here, as well as what gets passed over to PayPal for you to identify what the person has purchased. And when somebody does make a successful purchase on PayPal, that person will receive an email from a receipt email from PayPal, and you will also get notified of that purchase and what the purchase item is, and the email address, and the and their name and credentials for that person. You'll also put in the price, $125 here. You can also put in the .00 if you wanted to. Just remember, don't put the $sign, because WordPress will automatically put the $sign in front of it. And then the image. If you're curious what the image size is, you'll just click on. Let me just repeat that again. Featured image on the right hand side. You'll click on the image, and it'll tell you 169 by 169 pixels, and that's a JPEG type. So if you were going to create a new item, so let's say I was going to create a new item. So new item, and let's say this one is $35. You want to set an image. You want to make sure that the image was what was it? 35 by 35, I believe, right? Let's see. No, 169 by 169. When you set a featured image, you'll grab that over and put it in here, and it'll upload it. Or if you want to just keep the default, just click on the default one and set that as the featured image. There you go. Click on publish. And if I refresh the page, I'll see that my new item called new item is $35. If this as a consumer, click on add to cart, it'll get past the PayPal, new item for 35 bucks, so that works. And that's basically it. If you want to reorder this to be, let's say, between career cheek session and style reset session, that's possible as well. What we'll do is we'll go back to the back end. Under shop items, you'll see an option called reorder. Click on reorder. And it's basically click and drag to where you want it to be. So I'm going to click on new item and I'm going to drag it between the career cheek session and the style reset session. Click on update. And if I refresh, I can see that now my new item is between the style reset and the career cheek. So that's basically how you add an item. And the last thing we want to do is, in case, well, we don't want the new item, so we're going to hover over it and then select trash. And that'll basically delete the item from the page. And now we can see it's now gone. So that's essentially your shop items. The next thing I want to go over is the contact form. And the contact form shows up under the contact page. And we click on schedule a style session. You'll see a form that pops up, and then basically when somebody fills out this form and clicks on submit, that will automatically email somebody. So who does that email? Well, that email is under contact forms, and then if I click on edit, and if I go down to here and go to the mail to, this is where if you ever wanted to change the email address, you'll just go there and you'll change the email address, and then you'll click on save, and that's basically all you need to know about the contact area, because everything else is code based, so I'm not gonna trouble you with that. Now the last thing I wanted to go over is backup. It's very, very important that after any major updates to your website that you back up your website. Just because if something ever happens to your website, for example, you got hacked, or you managed somehow to break the site, or the hosting where you have your website hosted decides to go belly up and bankrupt and no longer exists, it's just insurance to have a copy of your website on your computer. So in order to do that, you'll click on complete a full backup, and I always do complete full backup. So you click on complete full backup, wait a couple minutes for it to create a backup file, and then once it's done, you'll see a blue button, and what you want to do is you want to click on that blue button so that it saves a copy, that backup file on your computer. So right now it's done, and that didn't take too long, and basically it's a 23.39 megabyte file, and what you want to do is you want to click on download, and that will automatically download a copy of your website to your personal computer, so that if anything ever happens to your website, you can rest assured and know that you have a backup copy of that website, so that you can always provide to your developer or the new hosting provider to bring back your website. So right now it's downloading, and now I have a backup copy of the website. So that's essentially it, and that's essentially almost all the things I want to go over. I'm just trying to check my notes and see what else needs to go over. The one thing that you might want to do is under free downloads, and this doesn't apply just to free download page, but it'll apply to anything. Essentially, free downloads has the option where people can download or open up a PDF file or Word doc, like something like this, and that's very, very easy to do. It's no different than adding an image. So if you go to Pages and you go to free downloads, it's the first one here, and let's say there's another free download type, and let's say it's a Word doc. So let me just make sure I have a Word doc available on my computer. I'm just making a fake Word doc file. Just hold on a second. Okay, perfect. So I'll put my cursor. I guess I forgot to mention there is a difference between Shift Enter, which is basically a paragraph break, and a regular Enter, which is Enter is a paragraph break. A Shift Enter is basically a line return. So if I do a Shift Enter, you see that the cursor went to the next line. I can put in the next line. If I do Enter, it basically creates a line return, but also does another line return. It's essentially 2 line returns, so it creates a little spacing there. So how the downloads work is it uses a Shift Enter because I'm just doing a line return. So I'll do that, and then I'll create a hyperlink. So let's make the new text called I don't know what to call it. I'll just call it test file. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you want to do add media. I think let me try to do this. Maybe it's just easier if I do it in one shot. Looks like it might not work. Okay, that's fine. You want to do add media. You want to go to upload files. You want to drag the file. So I'm gonna upload, and I'm gonna drag my text file and drop it into this window. Okay, perfect. And I'm gonna do insert into page. And it looks like it automatically creates a hyperlink for you. So disregard what I mentioned before. So again, if I wanted to create a new downloads, I'll just make sure the cursor's where I want it to. This time, let's make it between outfit chart and wardrobe essential checklist. And then, so the cursor's between those two. I'll go to add media. I'll upload the media. Now, in this case, the media is already there, so I'm just going to select it, because we uploaded last time. And click on that, and click on insert into page. And there you go. It automatically created the hyperlink. It took the test. The reason why it says test is basically that's the file name of the image. So if I don't like that, I'll just automatically put down test file. I see that the hyperlink didn't go all the way. So what I want to do is I'll click on the part where it does have a hyperlink. Click on the link edit here. I'll copy what's in this URL here. Now this time I'll highlight the entire thing, and then I'll paste in the URL. So this time it'll actually highlight, the whole thing would be a URL. So again, what I did was because I added on new words, like right here, it's a new word, so it's not a hyperlink. WordPress is, I guess, it's not smart enough to know that, oh, this is part of this part here, so make this part here a hyperlink as well. So what I did is I went to the part that is a hyperlink, click on the hyperlink text, grab the actual URL of the hyperlink, and copy it to my clipboard or into memory, and then highlight the entire word, click here, and then paste it. Paste the link, click on add link, and then now the whole text here is now a hyperlink. And if I click on update and I refresh, I see that test file is now a hyperlink. I click on that, and that'll bring the Word doc that I just uploaded. So there you go. I don't like to keep that change, so I'm just go ahead and close or delete that, and click on update. Refresh my page, and essentially there you go. That's how you update a downloads as well as deleting a downloads. So a little trick with the Shift Enter, making sure it's a line break, as well as if you didn't name the file correctly, and when you add media and add the file to WordPress and didn't say the right link, like the link didn't have the correct wording, and you added more words to it, just remember, just go put your cursor to the part where it is a hyperlink, click on the link icon, grab the link, highlight the entire link, click on the link icon again, and paste in the link, save the link, update the page, and the entire link with your additional word will be a hyperlink. So hopefully I didn't confuse you. If I did, just rewind it and watch the video, that part of the video a couple times, and hopefully that makes sense. All right, thank you.